This is the planning, logistics, and execution of Kai's 30th scavenger hunt surprise birthday party thing. Yeah. Known facts about Kyanna Werner. Absolute weirdo, known pickle enthusiast, and loves a good party. Themed parties, food parties, costume parties, game parties, any sort of party, she is down for it. About 6 months before her 30th birthday, I asked her, honey, what do you want to do for your party? And I assumed she would have some sort of grand answer for what she wanted to do, and she was oddly quiet about it. Every time I brought it up, nothing, just crickets. Okay, yeah, I get it. It's one of the Big 10 birthdays. It's not exactly everybody's favorite, but this is the queen of Partyville, okay? Not doing anything isn't going to cut it. So, all right, boyfriend's got to step in and do something. So let's start brainstorming. What do we want to do? Trying to come up with an idea, and I ran across a very interesting TikTok.
Oh, they're so beautiful. I love it. Cabbage! These little purple spiky flowers. I haven't seen them. It's a scavenger hunt! It's a scavenger hunt! This is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I mean, other than you, David.
I mean, look at how much fun that woman is about to have. She's so excited. Kai loves true crime, Kai loves mysteries, Kai loves puzzles, Kai loves games. A scavenger hunt sounds perfect. I mean, how hard could it be to plan a scavenger hunt for her birthday? Turns out incredibly hard. First things first, this thing's gotta end with a party at the end, right? So we're gonna have a surprise party be the final thing that she has to get to. Call all of her friends, relatives, loved ones, a few enemies, let them all know of the proposed date for the surprise party, and to shut up about it for the next 5 months. Living in Milwaukee, finding a venue and a caterer was pretty simple. Now we just gotta design a friggin' escape room that goes across the whole damn city. So started looking for locations first and foremost. Knew we wanted a bunch of locations. More locations would make it feel like it was a bigger, grander thing. So I started trying to think of places that I wanted ideally. So library was a must. Started looking at parks and other public places. I tried to rent some specific gallery spaces. Those were pretty difficult to negotiate, and it was hard to justify me using the space versus somebody that would actually be doing an art installation or something like that. Photography studios were way too expensive. Landed on a small party venue, a hotel room, and a storage locker. Figured that was at least enough to start. I could work out of the storage locker and start planning how the rest of this was going to start coming together. So a few nights a week, I would just lie to Kai and tell her, honey, I'm going to the gym. But I wasn't going to the gym. I was going to a weird storage locker to go build puzzles like a sane person. Now that we have a bunch of locations, we need to get Kai from one to the other. So I started researching escape rooms and pre-made escape room puzzles. I also started looking at escape rooms for kids, things that parents could make in their home to entertain kids, especially during COVID. There was a lot of really good blogs and websites and things like that. I could take the basic ideas for the puzzles, make them a little bit more age appropriate or not, and then have one puzzle just lead into the next, into the next, into the next, until we got to 30 puzzles and Kai got to the party. I Googled all sorts of keys and lock boxes and safes and things like that, because what's more fun than having a box that you can't get into and then finding a mystery key? I had a pretty good idea of how many people were going to be attending the party, and I knew some people weren't going to be able to make it. So one of the first things I did as a creative decision was to print off little pictures of everyone that was either going to be at the party or was at least invited to the party, and their faces would be scattered on all of the puzzles throughout the day. I knew not everyone was going to be able to make it to the party, so I still wanted them to be involved somehow. Also, whenever possible, things were going to be the color yellow because as an adult man, I just decided that yellow was going to be my favorite color. So if I'm going to make all these damn puzzles, they're at least going to be a color I like. So here's how the day should play out. First, I'm going to leave the house way before Kai wakes up. Shouldn't be too hard, she's not much of a morning person. I set an alarm in the living room so that it would force her to get up and actually get out of bed, and I would put the first puzzle or the first clue right next to the alarm clock. The one thing I didn't think about was that Kai did in fact get up, went out to the living room, turned off the alarm, and then went back to bed. She texted me, hey, did you set an alarm for some reason in the living room? Yes, go follow the instructions left next to the alarm clock. Next to the alarm clock is a really cool digital video card. You can load whatever sort of audio video you want into this card via USB, and it has a little LCD screen. Whenever you open the card, it'll play whatever video file you've preloaded onto it. So this is what kicks off the day. Good morning. Hi, Kai. Happy belated birthday. Sorry you had to get woken up so early, but, well, you'll understand in a minute. I can confidently say that I know you pretty well. I would say better than a good chunk of people. So when I asked you what you wanted to do for your birthday and you said nothing, I knew something had to be done. You look for any reason to have folks over, to have a party, to get dressed up and just hang out with your favorite people. And I asked you several times what you wanted to do, and you said nothing because you're turning 30. And what could be more worse than that? Nothing. Nothing on this planet could be worse than turning 30. So then I started thinking, all right, well, Kai, what does she want to do? Well, what does she like? She likes true crime podcasts. She likes puzzles. She likes mysteries. She likes solving things. She likes games. So I've put together a bit of a day for you. You are, in fact, going to have a party, and everybody's going to be waiting for you. In fact, we expect you at 4:30 sharp this afternoon. But to get there, you're going to have to solve 30 puzzles. You will not be staying home. You might want to grab a jacket. You might want to get a backpack and a bottle of water. But you also might want to get started right now because the clock is ticking and party's getting started with or without you. So good luck. I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll see you at the party. And you might want to feed Charlie before you leave. Next to Charlie's food bowl was a manila envelope. There was also a little post-it note letting Kai know that her cousin Maddie was going to be outside in about 5 minutes. Maddie was my ace in the hole for this whole thing. I knew that I wanted this to be sort of self-guided. I thought it would be a little strange if I was sitting there just watching her solve the puzzles all day. And there were a lot of logistics that I would have to be running throughout the day for the surprise party portion of this. So Maddie was going to be her chauffeur for the day, but then also Maddie had all of the workarounds for all of the puzzles. So she knew if something was missing or if something was broken or something wasn't working or we were running out of time, how to bypass any of the puzzles so that we could keep the momentum going and stay on time. Puzzle number 1 involved a bunch of pictures of our friend Carter holding up different numbered fingers. On the backside of each one of those pictures were different letters in different colors. If you put all of the numbers in order and then flip them over, you'll see that they correspond to 3 different words based on their color, and it spells out check the pergola. Also inside the envelope was a half of an arrow puzzle piece. There's going to be a bunch of those scattered throughout. They come into play later. Now we head outside and start snooping around the pergola.
Yeah.
This one's the key.
Yes, it is, honey.
We're off to a great start.
Killing it.
Nice piece of yellow string and a nice easy slip knot so that we can get it off easily.
All right, well, it's got a tag on it. 44284.
44284 corresponds to a P.O. box that I opened at the post office. The key is also stamped with USPS. Once she sees that it says USPS on the key, I figured she would assume that it's the post office 2 blocks away from our house. Having a P.O. box was super handy because I could have all of the things I was ordering for the puzzles sent there, and it didn't cause any suspicion at the house. Also, I was a little worried that one of the post office employees might be like, hey, there's a blank envelope in here without postage or anything. So I did a couple of weeks of testing just to make sure and left just blank envelopes in there in different shapes and sizes of envelopes. Nobody seemed to care.
Did you look at the key?
Yeah, it says 44284. Oh, you mean like where it... CompX National? USPS. Boy, I am sorry you're going to need to be doing some hard guiding a little bit. I am waking up.
You know what? You're ahead of schedule. We will have time to stop and get coffee. If you were slow with the Carter faces, then we wouldn't have time for coffee.
Yeah, you're gonna need that coffee if you think you're gonna solve all these puzzles in one day, sweetheart. Luckily, our local coffee shop is right next to the post office. Once she has the appropriate amount of caffeine and donuts in her, she heads over to the post office. Pretty self-explanatory. The key corresponds to the number tag. Just gotta search around and find the right P.O. box. Inside of this folder, there are 2 things. There's another one of those half arrow puzzle pieces, And there's a picture of a statue of George Washington with the letters DD and a string of numbers afterwards. If you Google George Washington statue Milwaukee, the first result you should get is the Richard Henry Park statue of George Washington located just outside of the Milwaukee Public Central Library. The DD is sort of vague on purpose. It's a Dewey Decimal number. I figured Kai, being the book nerd that she is, would pick up on that. The DD I was originally going to hide actually at the base of the statue, but it's in the middle of the traffic island, and I figured hiding stuff there kind of felt like low-key domestic terrorism, so let's not do that. While Kai's searching the statue outside of the library, we got to take a brief sojourn back to West Dallas at our house. Right around this time, the dynamic duo Catriona and Ethan were breaking into our house. I figured one of two things was going to happen as soon as Kai opened the card. Either A, she would immediately get to work on the puzzle, or B, she would want to take a shower and get ready and then start the day of puzzles. I figured she would just immediately start with the puzzles and not get ready, and that's exactly what happened. So Catriona and Ethan are breaking into our house. They're gathering up all of Kai's makeup and toiletries. They're also grabbing a few wardrobe options for the party later this evening. They're taking them to a hotel downtown, which will come into play a little bit later. Thanks, you two weirdos. Anyways, back to the puzzles. So eventually Kai did make her way into the library. The Central Library has this beautiful entryway, and I was like, oh, we have to use this. This would be so cool. But it was closed due to COVID. It also has this fantastic space, the Richard and Lucille Krug Rare Books Room. I put in an application to use that, which was swiftly denied once they figure out what I was trying to use it for. So let's go to nonfiction, I guess. This was another instance a lot like the post office where I didn't really want to let them know what I was doing so that they couldn't say no. So I did quite a bit of testing with the library. I was looking for an area that seemed to not get a lot of traffic through it. It wasn't a kids section, and I was looking for a book that was on the top shelf. Hopefully no one would mess with it. So I just put one of my own, basically decoy books on the shelf, roughly in the same spot for about a couple of weeks. Nobody seemed to mess with it. It didn't get moved at all. So I figured, there's tens of thousands of other books here. No one's going to notice it. So Kai's next puzzle piece would probably be safe for about the 24 hours that it would be there. Originally, I was going to hide the next clue in like an existing book, something with a fun title with Kyanna or 30 or Birthday. Couldn't really find a book title that fit, so I figured we'd have to kind of make our own book. So I found a company online that hollows out books. I had them specifically do a fantasy book that I was hoping Kai had maybe heard of. And then my wonderful coworker Jeff Duran helped me design a book jacket. The book had a few components to it. On the inside, there was another half-arrow puzzle piece. There was a key with a yellow piece of string on it. And there was also a rolled-up piece of paper that said Room 177, not in this building. The jacket of the book had some fun things on it. Had some pull quotes about Kai's 30 years from our friends Jake and Jacob, also our cat Charlie. Some notes about the wonderful author, myself. It also has this weird lamp on the front. That's going to come into play a little bit later. On the back of the book, there's also a QR code. Scanning that QR code brings up a map of the Helena Zelazo Center of the Performing Arts on the UWM campus. Put two and two together, that's where room 177 is. Fun fact about that room, the original party venue that I had booked decided to cancel on me a week before the scavenger hunt, so I had to scramble. UWM came in pretty clutch, and they were willing to rent me a music room.
I don't see it. Oh my god.
You put 537 up.
Kai claims the book was in the wrong spot. It wasn't. Due to the fact that the school actually has, school things going on, I couldn't get into the room that they had rented me till after 8 p.m. the night before the event. Luckily, our good friend Brad was secretly in town and Kai didn't know about that, so he went down the night before and set up the next puzzle. Inside the room, there's a small animal cage filled with balloons. The cage was locked. It also had a pair of scissors tied into the lock. I was hoping for a bigger cage and more balloons, but hey, I'm on a budget here. There was also a table with a small safe on it. That little safe is opened up by the key that was inside the hollow book. Inside of the safe, there's another half-arrow puzzle piece and a literal puzzle. The puzzle is of a picture that our friend Ying took. It's of Kai dressed as Princess Leia and Eric dressed as Obi-Wan Kenobi saying, "Happy birthday, you jerk." Originally, I was going to put the puzzle pieces in there without the picture, but I did a couple of test runs of that, and it's actually kind of hard to do a puzzle without the picture. So I included the box to save on some time. The next clue is on the back side of the puzzle, written in yellow marker. I told Maddie to tell Kai to do the puzzle on top of the piece of cardboard that was included in the safe. I had tried transferring the puzzle to cardboard afterwards, and that's shockingly hard too. So doing the puzzle on top of the cardboard from the get-go was just going to save on some time. Once she finished the puzzle and used the cardboard to flip it over to the other side, on the back side is written under table. The key to the animal lock was taped underneath the table the whole time. I mean, how often do you just check under a table that you sit at? So now she has an unlocked animal cage full of balloons and a pair of scissors. Time to get popping.
I can see through them.
That's not fun.
Okay, but you don't think it's bad that we're in a school building and I'm like loudly?
They're aware.
Okay.
They are aware. We notified the campus police, the facilities folks, and we made sure that they were non-latex balloons in case anyone had a latex allergy. Just keep popping away until we find the right balloon. I had to reorder the confetti for that damn balloon like 3 times because it kept getting lost in the mail. Along with all the confetti I would be cleaning up shortly, there was also a note.
Rock Bottom Restaurant and Brewery, 740 North Blinkington Avenue at 11:30. What time is it?
It's 11:05 a.m., so that gives you about 25 minutes to get about a mile downtown to make your lunch reservation. Once they were seated, their server handed Kai a manila envelope with her name on it. Inside, there's a really cool cipher lock that our friend Elena let me borrow, and there's also a piece of paper that says C equals 1. C equals 1 refers to a basic letter cipher. Instead of A being the first letter of the alphabet, now it's C, so you have to shift everything down 2 letters. So once she solved that, ENGCT actually spells out clear, CLEAR. Change the letters on the cipher lock to that, and it opens up. Inside, there's a little piece of paper that has another string of letters to solve with the same C equals 1. There's also another physical key. Translating the piece of paper will tell her what to do with the key. When the piece of paper is translated, it has the address for Clear Home Self-Storage. It also has the unit number that corresponds to the key of the storage unit where the next puzzle is. So they finish up lunch and eventually make their way over to the storage unit while I go back to UWM and clean up a million pop balloons.
You have to, pull there's like a cylinder thing that you have to pull out. Yeah,
Oh,
then like that. Thanks for the Marco about that, JT.
Opening the storage unit reveals a whole bunch of stuff. Ignore all that junk in the corner that got moved out. That's better. So we have some tables with a bunch of items on them. We have a file cabinet. And we also have a case labeled exit. So that's fairly clear. We're trying to get that case open. There's also a cute little lounge zone that I made with chairs and water and decorations and no puzzles. There's 4 basic avenues of approach to this whole thing. There's the arrow puzzle, there's the lamp, there's the file cabinet, and there's the mannequin. These basically could have been done in any order. Kai told me the first thing that she did was she found the lamp. So this is the same target lamp that's on the cover of the book. However, the one bendy part of it is bent in a different way than on the cover of the book. Moving that bendy part, you would hear that something's rattling around inside of the light bulb. It's actually a fake light bulb, and there's a key inside. That key corresponds to this French banker box that I found on Etsy. It's sort of a black-brown old key, and there's an old black-brown box sitting on the table. Opening up the banker's box reveals a big battery brick with a little switch on it. I was worried that Kai might try to plug the lamp into the battery, because that does kind of make sense that would be the next step. However, because there wasn't anything plugged in there, and theoretically the bottom half of the fake light bulb could have still been in there, it could have shorted out the battery, and then we wouldn't have been able to continue. So I taped up the bottom of the lamp, and it just said no on it. Apparently Kai thought that was pretty funny. Next is the file cabinet. The top is locked with some yellow string around it. The bottom has a little jewelry box. It has another half of the arrow puzzle piece to it, some UV paint, and a UV flashlight. The paint is kind of a clue. Hey, there's probably UV paint somewhere. Use the flashlight to find out where. There are arrows on all the walls, and they point to the map. 6 to 9 are highlighted on the map, and the word briefcase. And there's a briefcase on the table. Maddie told me Kai had a hell of a time trying to get the briefcase open. I tell you, these damn millennials. Inside, there's another half of the arrow puzzle piece, and a key with yellow string, just like on the top of the file cabinet. So now we can unlock the top of the file cabinet once I figure out how a key works. And there's a little desk fan. So now we have a USB powered fan and we have a USB power battery pack. So plug one into the other, turn it on, and it is an LED fan. So once the blades get up to full speed, the LEDs start blinking and it reveals a message. Kai figured correctly, that is the combination to one of the 2 locks on the exit case.
What? You know, JP and I were like, oh my god, are we going to have to teach her how to use a combination lock? Which is a problem because I myself am not confident with my combination lock skills. You got that very fast.
I'm actually really impressed with myself.
The next puzzle path involves checking the mannequin Bobby, who's dressed up in camo. She has one of these little Boy Scout match holders. It's an old antique little thing. Inside of there are 6 keys, which correspond to the 6 little mini locks on top of this larger padlock, keeping this black pelican case closed. Inside the case is yet another half arrow puzzle piece. Lastly, just exploring around the room, inside this old cigarette case, there's another half arrow puzzle piece. That one's just kind of a freebie. Listen, I was getting tired of making puzzles. Now we have all 8 pieces of the arrow puzzle piece. Figure out which one goes in which place, and you reveal a sequence of 4 arrows. Those 4 arrows correspond to the second lock on the exit case.
Okay. Sorry, cleanup crew.
Inside the case, you see a bunch of this yellow U-line packing paper because presentation. Inside, there's a little tiny mini pelican case.
Micro pelican case. Didn't want to force it. Oh, this is at the gym.
There's also a sheet of paper that describes all of the puzzles in the room. This was actually a working, functional piece of paper that I was using for all of the locations and puzzles so I could keep track of things. I included it with the key in case Kai didn't recognize that it was from our gym. This way it would actually spell out that it was from the gym that we go to. So now we had a couple of blocks away to the gym. Originally, this puzzle was going to be at a park that's just a few blocks away, but as I was looking at the weather this time of year in December, it was getting kind of dicey whether or not an outdoor adventure was a good idea. I was trying to brainstorm a good location with our trainer, Jason, and he's like, "Hey, dummy, why don't you just use the gym here?" Brilliant idea, thank you. So I knew the next location was going to be the hotel, so I had this little disc puzzle made up on Etsy. All Kai had to do was go to the gym, go to the corresponding locker, open it up, find the manila envelope with the puzzle, and then solve the little disc puzzle. Jason also had the brilliant idea to have locker number 30 be the locker. Thank you, Jason. When she returns her key to the front desk, they'll give her back her gym card.
So I can take my gym card. I never even realized he was taking it.
It was so easy. I was going to have to steal it, but instead she just handed it to me and forgot about it. Anyways, when they give her back her gym card, she also gets the room key to the hotel downtown. Downtown, the hotel room has all of Kai's things to get ready and a 100-pound safe, because when you have a 100-pound safe, you gotta lug it around downtown and take it through the lobby of a fancy hotel. On top of the safe, there's another safe. It's a timer safe, so you set a specific time on here, and the thing automatically opens up at whatever time you set it to. There's also a note telling Kai that she has to wait until 4 p.m. for this to open, so she has until then to get ready. Kai got ready and then patiently waited till 4 p.m. for the safe to open.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes! Ah! It turns out this is art. Oh, no, it's not. Well, this was the combination.
Yep. After all that, I forgot to lock the last safe. You know, Ted Bundy once said the first time you're careful, by your 13th time, you can't remember where you left the lug wrench. You live and learn, I guess. Inside the big safe, there's a little box. Opening up the box reveals a big red button. Everybody loves to push a big red button. Push that, it self-inflates a happy birthday balloon. It also has the address to where the party is. Then, just go to the party. All the catering and food and drinks was taken care of, so we just had a rip-roaring good time. Her family supplied me with a lot of old family photos, so I was able to put together a little slideshow. My cousin Chris made some awesome COVID masks just in case. And that's pretty much it. We tore it up at the restaurant for a couple hours, then the party spilled over to our house. Everyone got really drunk. I was fully aware that Kai's family was going to end up at our house and that I hadn't really planned anything for the next day and that Kai would have to then entertain all of her family at our house with no warning. But hey, you can't plan for everything, right? So that's pretty much it. So if you would like to do a scavenger surprise birthday hunt for your loved one, just follow these 5,000 easy steps. Okay, that's it. Bye.